The cold bites Kale's face, a familiar pain he has known since birth. His broad feet, splayed for balance on the icy scree, make almost no sound. For 3 suns, he has tracked a great horned elk, a beast of the true megafauna, its scent a promise of fattened wolf for the clan of the Stone Jaw. But the wind carries a new scent today, thin and warm. It is the smell of old blood, but also of something else, something alien that prickles the hairs on his thick arms. He crests the ridge and stops. In the basin where the elk should have been yarding, lies its carcass. It is a skeleton, picked clean not by wolves or cave lions, but by blades. Kale descends, his stone-tipped spear held ready. The snow around the kill is a tapestry of tracks, but the deep, familiar prints of his own kind are absent. Instead, he finds them, long, narrow footprints left by beings who run on the balls of their feet, a gait as strange to him as a bird walking backward. He kneels by the colossal spine, running a calloused thumb over a rib. The cut is impossibly clean, a straight, deep groove no moose-terrian hand axe could make. His people shatter bone, they crush and hack. This was done with a different kind of thought, a wicked sharpness. They took the tongue, the heart, and the liver, but left the marrow bones untouched, a baffling waste of precious fat. They butchered with the detached efficiency of ants, leaving behind a monument to their skill and their otherness. This is the 3rd time in as many moons. A woolly rhino found stripped to the bone near the frozen river, a herd of bison vanished from the low steppe. The patterns of their prehistoric world are fraying. The long, unwritten chapters of hominid history feel as if they are turning to a final, blank page. He finds a sliver of flint near the carcass, numb and thin like a willow leech and tools. It is not one of their ancient tools. He presses its edge to his thumbnail and it draws blood instantly. A tool made for slicing, not bludgeoning. Kale rises, the sliver of flint clutched in his fist. He looks toward the horizon where the mountains claw at a bruised sky. There is no sign of them. There never is. They are ghosts on the wind, a whisper in the pines. He feels a dread colder than the ice under his feet. It is not the fear of a predator, for a predator can be fought, its strength measured, its habits learned. This is the fear of the unknown, of a mind that works in ways he cannot grasp, pale and silent beings who hunt with the wind and dissolve with the snow. But Kale knows better. Spirits do not leave footprints. Spirits do not need tools. He turns back toward the cave, the useless spear heavy in his hand. He is a master of his world, a hunter at the peak of his kind, yet he feels a chilling obsolescence creep into his bones. The clan is hungry, and the ghosts are eating their future. The fire in the heart of the cave burns low, a sullen orange eye in the smoky dark. It offers little comfort. Hunger is a cold stone in the belly of every member of the clan of the Stone Jaw. Kale shares a strip of dried mushroom with a child whose whimper is as thin as the winter wind. Una, the clan's oldest, her face a map of 100 hard seasons, stares into the flames. Her silence is heavier than any warning. The skills that have sustained their people through millennia of ice now fail them. Their knowledge of the herds, their strength in the hunt, their meticulous hafting of stone to wood, it means nothing when the prey itself vanishes. These are dark days in their long hominid history, a time when the accumulated wisdom of their ancient human ancestors seems to fall short. The ghosts, once a rumor, are now a reason for starvation. A scout, young Gorn, stumbles into the cave, his chest heaving, his broad face pale with more than cold. He saw them, not footprints, not a carcass, but the tall ones themselves, moving across the great plain where the reindeer herds graze. He speaks in gasps of figures impossibly lean, moving with a fluid grace that is not like the earth-shaking power of his own people. They carry sticks, he says, but not heavy, crushing spears like their own. Thin sticks like reeds. Una rises, her movement stiff. The clan must see. They must understand what is stealing their world. Kale leads the way, his best spear in hand, the familiar way to cold comfort. They climb the high ridge overlooking the plain, moving through the wind-stunted pines like shadows, their own survival skills honed for a different kind of danger. Below them, a scene unfolds that stops Kale's heart. A small group of the tall ones moves near a panicked reindeer herd. They do not charge. They do not surround. They stand at a distance that Kale would consider hopeless. Then one of them places the butt of a thin spear into a notch on another, longer stick and atlatl. With a whip-like motion, the spear is launched. It doesn't fly, it vanishes, reappearing a moment later buried deep in the flank of a fleeing reindeer. The animal stumbles and falls. Before the clan can even process the sight, another spear flies, then another. The efficiency is horrifying, a silent, detached form of slaughter. There is no wrist, no dance with death. It is simply killing reduced to a flick of the wrist. Kale watches, his knuckles white on the shaft of his spear, and understands. They are not competing with other hunters. They are competing with an idea, a thought, that has led generations of prehistory, means nothing against a weapon that kills from the safety of the wind. The choice becomes brutally clear, spoken in Anna's ragged whisper beside him. They can fight these ghosts and be pierced from afar before their spears ever leave their hands, or they can leave. They can abandon the graves of their fathers, the lands that have known them since before humans were truly human, and flee into the unknown mountains, praying they find a valley the tall ones have not yet seen. The retreat into the high mountains is a quiet litany of suffering. The air thins and the cold develops a new, sharper edge that their thick hides cannot blunt. They are people of the valleys and steppes. And these unforgiving peaks are a foreign world. Hunger gnaws with a ferocity that strips away all but the most basic instincts. They are a ghost clan now, haunted by the memory of the tall ones in the world they lost. 2 of the elders and 1 of the young do not survive the journey, their bodies left in shallow graves of stone and ice, a silent testament to a failed strategy. Kale pushes on, his people a ragged line behind him, their broad faces etched with a communal despair. The very process of human evolution, a force that had shaped them into perfect hunters for 100,000 years, now discards them like a flawed tool. They find it by accident. They fissure in a limestone cliff face, partially hidden by a curtain of frozen waterfall. The air that breathes from it is still and dead, without the scent of beast or decay. It is shelter. With the last of their strength, they make a new fire just inside the entrance. Kale takes a torch and ventures deeper, Una following, her steps slow but deliberate. The passage narrows, then opens into a vast, silent chamber. The torch sputters, casting dancing shadows. Kale raises it high, and the light catches on the wall. It is not stone he sees, but skin. The skin of the cave is covered in figures. There, rendered in black manganese and red ochre, is a herd of bison, their shaggy humps and powerful legs drawn with a terrifying life. They are not still, their legs are layered, one over another, so that in the flickering torchlight, they seem to stampede across the rock. Thin, elegant spears, the spears of the tall ones, bristle from their sides. Kel moves the torch, and a new scene appears. A pride of cave lions, lean and hungry, their jaws open. Then a woolly rhino, its head lowered to chow. This is the world he knows, but seen through an alien mind. This is parietal art, a story told to the darkness itself. Una reaches out a trembling hand and touches the outline of a handprint, a ghostly negative space on the rock, a signature left by a being who wished to say I was here. It is a concept so foreign, so deeply tied to an individual's sense of self, that Kel feels a dizzying vertigo. His people are the clan. They live, hunt, and die as one. This is the mark of a singular mind. They find things that are not animals, rows of dots, grids of lines, symbols that mean nothing and yet everything. It is symbolic thought, made manifest. This cave is not a home. It is a prayer. It is a prayer. It is a prayer. The tall ones, the Homo Sapiens, do not just hunt their prey. They capture its soul on the rock, ensuring its return, planning for seasons not yet born. The truth falls upon Kale with the weight of a glacier. They are not being out-hunted. They are being out-dreamed. Her ancient face illuminated by the fire of his torch, and sees no fear, only a profound, bottomless recognition. Their fight is over, not because they are weak, but because their very way of thinking has become obsolete. Their chapter of ancient history is at an end. The clan of the stone jaw does not leave the valley of the painted cave. They find a smaller shelter nearby, and there they live out their final seasons. They hunt what little they can, their heavy spears and powerful bodies a fading echo of a world that no longer exists. Kale watches the children, the last generation of his kind, and sees in their wide, dark eyes no future, only a reflection of the past. The terrifying efficiency of the newcomers, their ability to project thought into the future and memory onto stone, has rendered the Neanderthals' magnificent adaptation to the present an evolutionary dead end. This was not a war of spears, but a war of minds, a silent replacement on the vast scale of human evolution. The struggle of Kale's people is the quiet tragedy that underpins our own ascent. Their extinction was not a failure, but a necessity for the world that was to come, the silent sacrifice upon which the future of a single, strange, and wildly ambitious species of hominid, our own, would be built. What ghosts of their thoughts, what echoes of their strength, still linger in the DNA and the deep, collective unconscious of the species that replaced them. You have been listening to the alternate prehistory survival chronicle. The past is never truly dead. It is not even past. And in the sweltering jungles of a lost continent, a different kind of human ancestor learns that the most dangerous dinosaurs are not always the largest.